Welcome in, one and all. It's been a long time since I've said that, and it's been a very long time since I've put out a video that's not related to Decisive Action. There's not going to be a lot of preamble in this video, but it is a fireside chat. As such, we need to get... That's not the right button. Right into things. I do these when I need to update the community with what's going on. I need to figure some things out on my side, or ultimately there's news that needs to be discussed and shared. And it has been entirely too long since I've given you guys any form of update whatsoever. So let's go into our Google Doc simulator, and if you are not on my Discord or you haven't been paying attention, hopefully this video will explain why content has slowed to a crawl the last 10, 11 months, something like that. Please ignore the tab at the top of the screen. There's nothing sketchy up there, it's just nothing that, is relevant to our discussion. So, let's get right into it. I'm out of practice at this, and there are hopefully some very good reasons for that. So let me turn this music down just a scooch. That's too much. There we go. And we're gonna jump right in. So, the big burning question that anyone and everyone is going to have is, why has content stopped? And this is a very valid question, and I've been struggling over how to answer this question for a while. And it's not a simple answer. Nothing I do is simple. You guys know this by now. I have this habit of being exceptionally long-winded with everything that I do, and this is no exception. So, why has content stopped? In September, it would help if I capitalize things, of 2021. That's not really accurate either. In August of 2021, my great aunt, that is to say, my grandmother's sister, passed. She was very sick. She had been sick for years, late-stage dementia, and that's all I'm going to say on the matter. My gran had been taking care of her for some time, and she passed. What this facilitated was my ability to move out of my parents' house. Her passing facilitated my moving house. So I am now living in my grand's house, which is now my house, helping in what small way I can to take care of my grandmother, not that she needs it, in my aunt's old room. I'm away from my parents. I'm living with my grandmother. And on that front, things are vastly improved from where they used to be. This also facilitated a life partner. If you keep up with the ongoings of the channel, if not the Discord, you know that shortly before everything exploded, I spent some time rescuing... This is a little bit harsh. The music, I mean. Rescuing a very special lady from a very bad situation. She has been living with me since that time, and things are going great on that front. I say life partner and not wife because legally we cannot get married. If I try, I lose my disability benefits, and if I lose those, I can't keep up with bills. You guys help a ton with the content and interacting with the channel, supporting what I do. You guys help with bills a lot, but it's not enough to cover all of the bills, and if I lose my government assistance, things get really bad, and I lose them 100% if I get legally married. So for all intents and purposes, I've gotten married, except in the eyes of the law. So throw that out. Now, none of this equates to no content for like a year. So let me get to that. When I moved into this was a house that was previously inhabited by two elderly Caucasian Southern women. There was no television, there was no internet, there was very little in the way of technology at all. So I went right out and I got cable for this house. And oh boy, was that and is that a thing. And this is the main reason that I haven't been making content. Let me tell you the full long-form story here, so that there is a record of it and everybody knows what in the actual fuck I've been dealing with. So, during the move-in process, I knew very quickly that I would need internet so that I could make content for you guys, so that I could put videos on YouTube, so that I could stream on Twitch, so that I could do this, that, and the other thing. So, I went to the local ISP, of whom there is one. And I said, "Excuse me, what is the best internet that I can get for this thing?" Because I need a stable, I specified stable from the word go. I need a stable internet connection to allow me to do my job. I need uptime more than I need downtime, or upstream more than I need downstream, excuse me. And I know you don't get that a lot in your customers. And the clerk said to me, "We can offer you a fiber connection for insert reasonable price here." And I said, "What does that get me?" And they said, 100 down and 40 up. I said, "That's phenomenal. I'll take that." So I took it. And a couple of days later, a technician came out, plugged in a modem, ran a line through the house to the power pole outside, and everything was great. Except it wasn't, because I wasn't here for the actual installation. I was at my parents' house getting my shit together and getting my wife's shit together so that we could move into this house. So somebody else handled the install. No big deal. Hopefully no big deal anyway. I come in, set everything up, and I try to do a show. Immediately, I notice that I'm dropping frames. This is in early September of last year. I'm dropping frames, my connection is spotty, my audio is fucked. Okay. Let's see if it improves. It's a brand new connection. Maybe it's got a, heat through, whatever. And the day goes relatively well. Boy, if I had known then what I know now. Over the course of September and October, my connection gets steadily worse. I'm dropping frames in the 60%. My audio is cutting out. My stream is dropping completely. My internet is dropping completely. It is understandably stressful. And it got to the point where I couldn't do October 2021. And I was like, okay, I will call the ISP, I will get a technician out to look at this, and in the meantime, I'll just do DA. Decisive action. Tabletop stuff. I remember distinctly it was a Wednesday when I did that. And so Thursday rolls around, and I'm gonna start a stream for VOM, and I hit the go button, and I'm immediately dropping 97% of my frames. And it won't connect to Twitch. And my Discord just explodes. I try this 3 times over the course of like an hour. I can't do anything. So begins a roulette with my ISP. Over the course of the rest of that year, I have no less than 5 technicians sent out. And every time I'm hauling my ass to the store where I originally got the hookup and requesting a technician because they won't listen to me over the phone. And finally, in, I want to say December, I go in and I say, I'm still having this problem. I can't do my work. I'm basically a radio host. I'm losing my audience. You need to fix my internet. And the clerk tells me essentially to fuck off. She says, I've spoken to management. We can't help you. You need to leave. That was the low point. I didn't know what else to do. I didn't have the tools that I needed to fix this shit at the time. Christmas was hard. The holidays are always hard for me, but not only not being able to do my show for months, but then also missing October and being told you can't use your internet anymore, get fucked. It was rough. If I didn't have my partner at the time, it would have been even worse than it is. Come home, I go on Discord on my phone, and I say, the internet people cut me off. You know, turn off the lights, we're done, there's nothing I can do. And one of my stagehands says, go to the Federal Communications Commission. I said, what? He said, your ISP is not rendering the service that you're paying for even close. This is a crime. I said, what do I have to lose? So I went to the FCC and I filed a formal complaint. And the next day, I was woken up by a call from internet service provider company corporate. And they were like, what seems to be the problem? You sicked the federal government on us. And I explained the situation. And they sent out a work crew. And the work crew, over the course of a couple of weeks, came to me and said, You were right to call us. The high-end commercial tech on the poles nearby your house are bad. Not only are they bad, there's a bunch of illegal hookups on them fucking everything up. We cleared all of those. You should be fine. I didn't dare try to stream at this point. But I did do some testing on my internet. And it turns out that things were better. So I was quietly hopeful. I decided to do some testing over several days, and boy am I glad that I did. Because day 3, the issue started again. We go back and forth, replacing my modem, my router. We're replacing the cable that goes through the floor and the wall to outside the house, the cable that goes from the house to the pole. Nothing is fixing this issue. And finally, the lady at corporate cuts me off, basically. And so I'm back to square one. I still do not have what I need to do a show. We have switched to recording Decisive Action because it seems to be somewhat less strenuous. And we have this whole setup where my computer is picking up my voice and the people talking to me for DA, but the only way they can hear me is if I'm also on my phone, which is muted on my computer, so that they can hear me and respond, and even then sometimes it still cuts out. It's a whole thing. But at least we're doing DA. And I'm back to square one, and I'm like, okay, if this is all there is, at least it's something. And I'm settling in for the long haul. And my mother and grandmother, as well as my partner, all three are like, go to the FCC again. When you went to the FCC, you got results. If they're not willing to invest the time to continue working with you, go back to the FCC. You need this. I said, okay. It's like March or April at this point. I go back to the FCC and I lodge another formal complaint. And the next day I get a call from a different person, from Internet Service Provider Corporate, Mr. David. And I explained the whole situation to Mr. David. How I've replaced everything, how my ISP cut me off, how the technicians that came out to the house gave me a supposed diagnostic modem that is going to give them more data than it normally would about what's wrong here, and yet they won't return my calls, and this is still happening. And Mr. David says, I see. And I hang up with Mr. David. And I get a call from the guy who won't return my calls that evening. And a little bit later, they replace everything. Like, they damn near dug up the pole outside. They replaced all of the big tech, like all the wire, all the cables. Like, I improved service for my entire block. And they replaced my modem, or the modem that the tech gave me, with another modem. And things have been working since. But that took from September of last year until About mid-April. Now, if you're playing along at home, this is the Fireside Chat for October 5th, not mid-April. Why the discrepancy? A valid question. I'm exhausted from this multi-month battle with corporate nonsense trying to sweep me under the rug, going to the federal government, dealing with these technicians, 3 or 4 times a week at one point. I'm wiped. So I said, fuck it. I'm gonna rest in April and May and see how I feel in June. Because I'm exhausted. I'm miserable. I'm tired. I need to rest. And so I rest for a couple of months. And I do feel better. And I'm at this point in October, I'm ready to get back to it. But again, June is not October. So where in the hell have I been? Twitch imploded? Around July of this year, Twitch started taking a downward turn and making some decisions on the business end that I just cannot support. I cannot support it for the sake of my fellow content creators. I cannot support it personally. I don't want to be a part of it. Bluntly. I don't want to be a part of it. And it's only gotten worse since then, by the way. And I gathered the keepers together. By the way, shout out to the keepers, the stagehands, the regulars, followers, newcomers, and lurkers for staying with me through this shit. I should have said this sooner, but it was the stagehands that got me to go to the FCC. It was the keepers who kept my head up through this nonsense. And it's you guys that gave me the drive to keep fighting. I know this community is small, I know this channel is small, but by God, it was you guys that got me through this shit. Bluntly. Anyway, I went to the keepers, and I said, look, I've been gone for about a year, give or take, 3 or 4 months. I have to rebuild my audience anyway. I'm not inclined to do that on Twitch. I'm not inclined to make that a thing. What do we do? And so, since then, we've been working behind the scenes to get things set up. Because I want to get everything set up before we officially come back as strong as possible. What did we set up? We changed the YouTube archive to the YouTube channel. And this is where I will be streaming, providing my computer lets me stream, because I haven't really tested the streaming aspect yet. This is where I will be streaming, or this is where the recordings will go when they're ready. We changed my schedule. Instead of streaming 8 hours a day for 6 days a week, I'm now going to be streaming 4 to 6 hours a day, 3 days a week, plus 6 DA shows. And we'll talk more about that when the time comes. I will either be putting up a bunch of videos or doing streams 3 or 4 days a week in the afternoons, like normal, but then taking consecutive days off because I have a house and a wife and, you know, responsibilities and bills and things like this. I can't do the work schedule that I was doing before. We launched a Patreon. And oh my god, the support. I can't help but shill the Patreon. And you're going to see a lot of Patreon shilling moving forward. The Patreon is not done. It's an ongoing project, and it will continue to be an ongoing project. Stuff is being added, stuff is being removed, stuff is being changed based on community feedback, whatever you guys want to do. And ultimately, it's helping pay my bills, especially when I haven't been streaming for, 11 months at this point. Patreon has helped immensely, and it will be the primary way to support the channel moving forward. In no uncertain terms, Patreon has treated me better, has treated my keepers better than Twitch ever has. I've been on Patreon for 4 months now, as opposed to 5 years almost on Twitch. It's night and day. Patreon is so much better. It's worse for discoverability, but in every other way, it's better. So, YouTube, Discord, Patreon. That's going to be the main 3 moving forward, unless something happens to one of those. I will be making content. We'll talk about content in a second. But I will be making content on YouTube. You guys can support on Patreon and get rewards, and the community will be... the main community portal will be Discord. We have new art assets coming. And when these are done, it's basically going to be business as usual with this new stuff. So, yeah, that's where I've been. I apologize that that's not a great segue, but that's where I've been. That's what's been going on. My health has understandably been in the shitter through this, but I'm mostly recovered and I'm itching to get back to work. I want to do more stuff for you guys. I know I missed a lot of games, and I'm excited. I do not have a date of my return yet, but it will hopefully be in 2022. And in the meantime, we have some cool stuff coming. Either when I get started, or shortly before I get started, there's going to be some cool stuff coming down the pipeline. So let's talk about outstanding projects first and foremost, before we talk about new stuff. So, outstanding projects are emote conversions. If you're familiar with our Twitch channel or our Discord, we had a little orange fox in, bard outfit, our little fox bard, that was the mascot of our emotes, that was our main, our main way to interact with the channel. About a year ago, a little bit more, I started asking our buddy Parrish Broadnax to convert those into a more personal and thus apropos version of the bark fox. I've always preferred marble foxes with the black ears and black tail tufts and the white fur over red foxes. And so we've been slowly converting our emotes from orange to white over basically all of this time. There are 4 emotes left to do, and once that's done, we've got, you know, all of that sorted and we can start doing new emotes. So that's exciting. Odeon's coming back. Obviously, with all of this, I haven't had time to organize something as intense as Open Dice Night, and it just stopped at the same time that all of this other stuff stopped. You know, the plan is, starting in January 2023, to bring Open Dice Night back, even if we have to, you know, record it ahead of time and not live stream it. We want to bring back Open Dice Night, and the people who got unfortunately cut off are going to have first dibs on seats. It's only fair. October 2022, or 2021, excuse me, is coming back. You guys paid for it. You guys, you know, you deserve to get what you paid for, and this has prevented me from giving it to you. So, over the course of whenever I get back for the next couple of months thereafter, interwoven with the other content, there will be the finishing of October 2021. And there will not be a new October fundraiser until this is done. I am not comfortable doing another fundraiser until I have delivered what you guys have paid for. I'm not comfortable making new stuff until this stuff is finished. I've tried a couple times to pre-record the finishing October stuff and put it up on the YouTube, and I just haven't been able to do it. I can't sit down and make myself do it with all of the negative emotions associated with it. So, the best thing that I can do is intersperse it with stuff that I do want to do. Alright? When content comes back, we'll do a game, or we'll do part of a game, and then I'll take a day and I'll do some more October. And I'll just chip away at it until it's done. It's not that I don't love October. I do. It's just, this all happened basically during October 2021, and I can't tackle it all at once. I just don't have it in me, and I'm sorry for that. You know, Decisive Action is still ongoing, and we need to talk about DA when we get to the part about scheduling. I wanna talk about how we're gonna be doing DA moving forward, but we'll get there. Decisive Action is still ongoing, and we have some new stuff coming up that I think you guys are gonna be excited for. So let's talk about what is upcoming, right? Upcoming projects. New overlay. New art assets for Patreon and YouTube and Discord. I've got a YouTube banner coming. I've got a Discord banner coming. I've got new overlay elements coming. We're going to keep the bit hat. We're going to do a social panel right on the stream so you can see how to interact with the community with all of this stuff. We're going to get some more art in the Patreon. We're going to give you guys some Patreon rewards. We got a bunch of cool stuff on that front. But if you don't care about, you know, stream elements, and you don't care about Patreon, you just want the content, I got some news for you. So, first of all, new DA shows. I have several in the works. 2 are upcoming, hopefully by the end of the year, or early next year, with more coming as others finish. We've got Theory and Praxis, which is a Strixhaven curriculum, that is not how you spell that word, maybe it is, of Chaos 5-point Fox campaign, with my own spin on things, as I always do. And we have Where Shadows Lay, working title. I still can't decide what I want to call this one, which is a combo Lost Mines and Out of the Abyss, focusing on all Underdark all the time. So more culture focused, more like weird and wacky locales. These are coming up. We've already got the players settled. We've mostly got the opening story arc settled. We just need to finish the art assets, and then those are coming out. Speaking of which, Tales of the Nightlight is becoming Six Semper Draconis. Thus always to dragons. Very soon. If you're following that story, you know, the Nightlights are getting ready to take on the dragon armies, and that's going to be a whole thing. And the art for that is just about done. It's taken a while, mostly because I've been indecisive on what I wanted. I put in the last work order for the SSD art on Monday of this week, and that's coming soon. We still have Voices of the Mountain. We still have... I almost said Tomb of Annihilation. That's not what I want. Crown of Fangs. We still have... Oh, we also have Hell to Pay over on the Patreon, which is Baldur's Gate Descended to Avernus. All of these are 5-point Fox. All of these are with my own spin on things. We'll be taking one D&D as it comes. They've released... Wizards of the Coast has released playtest for what comes after 5.0 with one D&D. There's some interesting stuff in the playtest, and there is some, speaking absolutely personally, garbage stuff in it. And, I'm looking to, see what is there, see what I want to use, and see what I don't, because for, you know, a couple years now, we've not been playing D&D 5.0. We've not been playing 1 D&D. We've been playing 5-point Fox. And I've been asking my players, do we want to switch to 1 D&D? Do we want to switch to 5.0 Raw? And I've been met with, no, we don't. Let's stay with 5-point Fox. I said, okay. So, if there's something neat added in 1 D&D, we'll take a look at it, maybe add it, but no plans right now to convert to it fully. Oh, and I completely forgot to mention this, you can hear it in the background. I got a dog. I, completely slipped my mind. Apologies. Dog pics in the gallery, in the Discord. We'd love to have you in the Discord. Best way to interact with the community. Her name is Artemis. She is my pupper dog. She is a Chihuahua wiener dog dachshund mix. More dachshund than Chihuahua. You know, nobody in this house wanted a small dog. No one in this house wanted a young puppy. But a friend of my grandmother's had it, couldn't keep it, and so we rescued her. She is very smart, very stubborn, and likes to pee on things. But for the most part, she's a good girl. But you'll hear her barking from time to time. Interestingly, she knows when I'm doing a show, recording DA, or doing something like this, or whatever, and she's usually noticeably calmer during those times, so as not to disturb me. She was just barking right there, but that doesn't seem to be a common occurrence. So, there's that. Getting back to what we're working on. let's talk about where content is going, right? Location of content. Ongoing shows / projects are going straight to YouTube. So, Voices of the Mountain, Crown of Fangs, Tales of the Nightlights, and so on. Oh, Arttober as well. Arttober 2021. This is all going straight to YouTube. If you hang out on the YouTube, you watch the YouTube, you interact with the channel, you know, like, comment, whatever. That helps. You will get this stuff, no harm, no foul. New stuff is going on the Patreon. Now, before you groan, before you get upset, I understand. But worry not. Foxo has you covered. Temporarily. Hell to pay, you know, game playthroughs that we're doing that are not Arttober 2021 related, new DA shows. I think Odeon is going straight to YouTube. These will go on the Patreon for a bit. 90 days, give or take. And then they will be released to YouTube. So you can go on Patreon, support me making more content, help me with bills, supply me with snacks, all of this good stuff. And for the price of a Twitch sub, you can get all of this stuff, you know, early. I don't know exactly how early it's going to be yet, but you'll get it. On top of that, the goal is to release an hour of content to YouTube every single day for free for you guys to have. So it probably won't be the current show, but for example, if Horizon Forbidden West is up, its time on Patreon is up, then we will be releasing an hour of Horizon every single day until we're done with Horizon, and then we'll go to the next show. So you will always have something on YouTube to watch for free. You can just go to the Patreon to get stuff early and support. Now, how does this fit into live streams? If I can live stream, if live streaming is possible, the plan is as follows. I will be streaming to YouTube, unlisted, with announcements and links on our Discord, and fans of the show can go through the Discord back to these unlisted streams, chat, hang out, watch the stuff completely free. This will not be sub-locked. This will not be YouTube Premium locked unless they make me, which they haven't yet. This will not be relegated in any way except being a member of our community, being a vetted member of our community on the Discord. You'll be able to have access to these streams, and we can just hang out and have a good time. And then the VOD will go to Patreon, and then be edited out from 4 to 6 hour blocks to 1 hour chunks, and then those 1 hour chunks will eventually make their way to YouTube. And I say eventually, just like, you know, you could measure it in weeks. If live streaming is not possible due to my internet or whatever else, then I will record content. It will be posted to the Patreon. It will then be edited and released in 1 hour chunks to YouTube. And that's how we're going to do this stuff moving forward. We can have watch parties on the Discord. We can, you know, there are ways to still get the community interaction that I want and that I think you guys want if live streaming isn't possible. The point is, we have a plan now, which we did not have a year ago, which is something. So, to recap, Discord, best way to interact with the community. If I can live stream, you'll know about it on Discord. Patreon, to get shit early and to support me. YouTube, for anything that is currently ongoing, and new stuff if you're willing to wait for it, or if you have to wait for it, depending. So, hopefully this is a good balance for people. Obviously, let me know in the comments of this video, let me know on Discord if you don't like this setup, or if you do like this setup. Like, be vocal in either direction so that we can get this stuff sorted. And also, commenting on the video does help our numbers and get more people in to watch DA and all this other content. Speaking of content, upcoming games. I want to come back strong. So I've been compiling a list of games that I'm going to be making content for you guys. And I have agonized over this list. Now, this list is not going to include October 2021. We've already talked about what I'm doing for October 2021 and how we're going to be weaving that in to this other content. I'm not going to go back over that. So you will not see that stuff on this list, but it will be there. So, we're good there. We've got Kenna, the Bridge of Spirits. This is a puzzle platformer made by an animation studio that came out last year, or early this year, maybe? And I've been super hyped for it. I promised you guys I'd play it. We're coming back strong with this. And the hits keep coming. Horizon Forbidden West. Because, oh my god, I am a huge Horizon fan. I have researched Horizon Forbidden West extensively. We are going to get lost in this game for weeks, if not months. And I cannot wait for you guys to come along on this ride with me. I'm so excited. Hades! You got it, you asked for it, you're getting it, it's on PS5, I can play it for you guys, and I'm going to be as vocal about this game as I have been critical of its predecessors. Get ready for some in-depth discussion and a deep playthrough of Hades. Yakuza series. I believe we're on 5? So we have to do 5, 6, Like a Dragon, Judgment, Judgment 2, Like a Dragon 2 is coming out next year. And I've missed my boy Kiryu. We're gonna get back into some Yakuza, and I am excited for that. God of War Ragnarok. Do I even need to say it? The sequel to Dad of Boy, we 100%ed the first one. This one looks good, y'all. So we got that coming up too. I'm debating Lies of Seven or whatever it's called. I'm debating Iron Hearts. I'm debating Greedfall 2. I'm debating Grounded. I will obviously take y'all's suggestions. But this is our heavy-hitting lineup out the gate. And realistically, I might start recording Kenna this week. I'm not sure yet. But I'm excited for this stuff, and I hope you guys are too. And that's pretty much what's been going on. You are now caught up to everything that's been going on. I wish that I could say, hey guys, I'm going to start live streaming tomorrow. I've still got to get some assets squared away. I've still got to get some, not legal stuff, but I need to get some, I don't even know how to explain it. Some assets. Not even art-based, but just some assets squared away and ready to go. But this is where I've been, and it's been a long time coming explaining this to you guys. So, thank you guys for your patience. The Discord link is on the channel where this video is posted, so you can join us on the Discord. We'd love to have you. Patreon link is also there. Check it out only if you have money to spare, but thank you for the support regardless, guys. And, yeah, that's what I've got. So, with that in mind, it's good to be home. It's good to be back. It's good to get this done. And it honestly took less time to explain all this than I thought that it would. But, as always, time to close the book on today and leave you all with these parting words. From myself and my keepers, to each and every one of you, the regulars, the followers, the newcomers, and the lurkers, whether you're just having a seat by the fire or you've got a running tab at the bar, I can finally say, remember, there's always more stories to tell. And hopefully, I'll see you all very soon with more DA shows, Ken of the Bridge of Spirits, Horizon Forbidden West, a YouTube channel, a Patreon, and a Discord that hopefully will feel like home, and a new chapter. Good night, you guys. Thank you so much for stopping by, and hope to see you again very soon.